Hey, y'all, you listen to the Gary Owen podcast. Hashtag Get Some. Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Gary Owen with the Get Some podcast. You can listen to this on iTunes. Just go to search my name, Gary Owen, hashtag Get Some. Or you can watch it on YouTube, youtube.com/Gary Owen Com. That's youtube.com/Gary Owen Com. I'm going to start with my schedule. Just left Baltimore last weekend. Thank you, everyone, at the Baltimore Comedy Factory. It's in the beautiful Best Western Plus Hotel. Now, disclaimer, I don't say the Best Western Plus, and I don't think a lot of the major headliners do, but that's where the comedy club is. And I think every comic that goes there makes fun of the hotel. I don't know. I do, because it just seems funny that one of the biggest drawing urban comedy clubs is in the Best Western Plus in Baltimore. And every time I go there, I think they're going to move it. I'm like, maybe they're going to, nope, it's still the Best Western Plus. But it's a great club, great staff. Audiences are great. So thanks everybody that came out. We sold out 8 shows last weekend. This weekend, I'm in Phoenix, Arizona at Stand Up Live, January 25th through the 27th. And next week, I'm in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, January 31st through February 2nd at the Improv. I don't think any comedian has a show on February 3rd because that would be Super Bowl Sunday. And I'll get into that in a little bit, talking about the Rams, the Patriots, the Chiefs, and the Saints. Talking about stand-up, though, the first thing I want to talk about is it's funny when somebody talks shit about you, people are quick to send links. And this last week, I got between Twitter and my YouTube page and everything else, everybody kept saying, are you going to respond to Corey Holcomb? Are you going to respond to Corey Holcomb? I'm like, what the hell did Corey Holcomb say? Now, Corey Holcomb's a comic. I consider him a friend. I still do. I think he just had a moment, or we had a moment. I don't know what happened, but I kept hearing things. Corey Holcomb's, I was like, I ain't seen it. I ain't heard about it. I don't know what it was. Leave it to the fans to send you a link. Somebody sends me a link of Corey on a podcast. Isn't his podcast. It's another podcast. And he had a comedian Dominique and a comedian Lav Love on the podcast with him. And at left field, Corey just goes, they're talking about horror stories and promoters and shady promoters and this and that. And at left field, Corey goes, fuck Gary Owen. I was like, what the hell I do to you? And I guess Corey's story was, and it did happen accurately. He wasn't lying about anything. We had a show last summer at the Palladium in Los Angeles. And it was me, Michael Blackson, Corey Holcomb, a few other people. But the lineup was that I don't know who went up in the beginning, but I know the beginning was the end was Michael Blackson, then me, then Corey. We were the last 3 comics. So Michael Blackson went right before me. Then I went up. Then Corey was going up after me. And when I got there, I had one of my, I got a couple different guys that opened up for me. So I had one of the guys that usually opens up for me with me. And, you know, I just asked the promoter. I was like, yo, is it cool if my guy gets 5 minutes before I go up? And I said he can go up anywhere. I said, because usually these comedy shows, they start late when you got big shows like that because they want to let the crowd get in there. And if the show's at 8, a lot of times they won't start till 8:15, maybe 8:20. So we got there, you know, right around 8 o'clock. And I asked the promoter, I said, hey, you mind if my guy goes up for 5 minutes? And I wanted him to go up like at 8. I said, maybe he can like open up and then bring the host up. That way you ain't got to, if you were going to start at 8:20, you could start at 8:15 and throw my guy up there. And the promoter said, well, let me check and I'll get back to you. So about 8:30, we're in my dressing room. The promoter comes to my dressing room and goes, Gary, man, yeah, we can get your guy 5 minutes. He said, when's he want to go up? I said, it doesn't matter, whenever. And he goes, all right, you want him just to go up right for you? I said, okay. So, and I even told the promoter I was scheduled to do 30 minutes. I said, if we're running late, I can cut my time down and he can. So if I was scheduled to do 30, I said, I'll do 25 and then my guy can do 5 minutes. That way we're not running long. And I get it when you're the headliner, you know, and you're following a bunch of headliners. And if the show's running late, it's the worst when you're going up last on a show like that because sometimes the crowds get tired and you don't get the reaction you want. So, you know, the show, from what I remember, wasn't running that late. And I know I cut my time down by 5 minutes so my guy could do 5 minutes. And to me, it wasn't a big deal. and I didn't even see Corey until I got off stage. I didn't see him before the show started. And I guess Corey took it personal and was like, fuck Gary Owen. That was some hoe-ass shit, throwing his man up there. He wasn't on the show and da-da-da-da-da. And I was just thinking, I know how Corey talks, so I don't take it personal. But I was thinking, dude, I asked the promoter. I was cool if they said no. It was 5 minutes, and my guy did 5 minutes. He didn't do 10. He didn't do 15. He did 5. And I didn't know I had to clear it with Corey. Now, with Corey being the headliner on that show, looking back on it, yeah, I probably should have said something to Corey and asked him, because I didn't know he was going to feel that way about it. But most of the times, like if I would have been the headliner and me and Corey, I mean, every time we've been on the road, sometimes he'll headline, sometimes I headline. It's not, not a big deal. But I wouldn't be upset if one of his guys could go up for 5 minutes, especially if he's saying, I'll cut mine down by 5 and I'm not going over. And anybody that works with me know I'm not going long. If I'm going up before you, I'm not going to be long-winded, because I know what it's like to go last on those shows like that. And, but, this year and a half later, I know Corey was still upset about it. And I was like, dude, Corey, you could have called me. My cell phone has not changed in 20 years. I always tell people, when my cell number changes, I'm divorced. That's what that means. Because my number, so when people see me and they're like this, they're like, hey man, you changed the number. I go, no, I didn't. You must have deleted it. Or you took it out of your phone, but my shit hasn't changed. It's been the same number since 1998. My cell number is the same. Corey's got it. He could have called me, or he could have sent me a message on social media. And I did try to text Corey this week when I saw it, and I don't know if I got the right number on him, but I did send a text. So I don't want to be like, well, man, you going to a podcast to call Corey out. Now, Corey said something about me on a podcast, so I'm just responding. I just think it's fine. I know how Corey talks. That's some hoe ass shit. Man, fuck Gary Owen. I laugh because I know Corey. But I'm just thinking, Corey, as long as we've known each other, and we've known each other 20 years, you could have called me, man. It wasn't that deep. And I would more than welcome going on your podcast. He's got a podcast, 5150. I would go on yours, or you could come on mine if you're in the area, or we cross paths and we could talk about it. I'm not going to be one of the dudes, keep my name out your mouth, Corey. Keep my motherfucking name out your mouth. Nah, keep it in your mouth, man. All publicity is good publicity. Keep talking about it. Yeah, but I was just, I wasn't taken back, but I was like, dang, it's like that over my guy doing 5 minutes on a show. And what's funny about it is Corey was like, that's why I ain't fucking with Gary Owen no more. I ain't working with him. I ain't doing shows with him. And newsflash, Corey, I'm good. I don't need you to go on the road. Like that was like the most hollow, like, threat. I ain't working with Gary no more. No, I don't know what I'm going to do now. We work together like once every couple of years, let's be honest. But I'd be more than happy to meet with Corey, talk about it. Like I said, I think I'll be one to do. Now, I will say, I didn't even I saw Corey and we said hi that night, but I didn't really approach him because he had his whole crew with him. I traveled with 1 or 2 guys. Corey had about 5, 6 guys with him that night. And they just got done beating Ari Spears' ass on his podcast. It just happened. And I don't know where everybody's mental space was. And anybody that knows me, before comedy shows, I give everybody their space. I don't try to get up in your, I don't know what people's process is before they go on stage. I don't try to bother people too much. So I kind of always leave the comics alone. And I'm sure Corey will hear this, because I'm sure that's what people do. When you talk about somebody, they're going to send him the link and he'll get wind of it. That's why, for one, I didn't see you, and I wasn't really looking for you, honestly, before the show. I went to the promoter and asked. And I was cool if he said no. It wasn't like, man, my man's got to go up. He's got a hot 5. He's got to go up. Nah, it was just like we were there. My guy had never been up in L.A. He's been up in L.A., but not Hollywood. So I just thought it was a good chance to give him a little exposure, and that was it. It really wasn't that deep. I didn't give it that much thought. And nobody was trying to fuck Corey or kill the crowd or nobody was doing follow this shit. It was none of that. It was just, my guy's there. He's helping me out. I was like, hey, can he get 5? If they would have said no, not a big deal. And I said, I'll cut my time down if that's what the case is. But like I said, I would welcome the chance to go on Corey's podcast, or he can come on mine if he wants to talk about it. And what was it? Fuck Gary Owen. That was some hoe ass shit. That's classic Corey. Because I like Corey. Corey's got literally one of the funniest jokes I've ever heard is when Corey said, yeah, that's what Corey's like, hey, you ever fucked the bitch? You ever fucked a fat bitch with skinny legs? In the morning, she gets up and runs across the bedroom, and you're like, yeah, damn, I just fucked a wisdom tooth. To this day, that's one of my favorite one-liners. So I don't hate Corey. I don't think nothing of it. And it's funny because Corey on his podcast, he's always talking about, I ain't that dude. I'll approach you. Well, you didn't approach me that night. I said hi, Corey. You didn't approach me, so I'm sure next time I see you, you're gonna approach me. And I put money on we gonna be cool. But I ain't. This ain't no threat ass, no rappers and shit. Me and Corey, we both over 40. That shit ain't happen. That'd be the worst fucking comedy fight ever. Me and Corey. Ain't nobody fighting. And yeah. So I did honestly. I did see it because a fan sent it to me. And that's why people always respond to internet, what they call trolls and stuff. Man, people want to make sure when people talk shit about you, they want to make sure you find it. Because if Corey would have said Gary's funny, I would have never heard about it. If Corey went on a podcast and I'm like, yeah, I like Gary, man, he's cool, it would have never got back to me. But the minute Corey said, fuck Gary Owen, that's some hoe ass shit, oh my God, I got messages. And I'm sitting there like, I don't know what they're talking about. And I don't know. It was on Dominique. I don't know if it's Dominique's podcast or Lav's podcast. I don't know whose podcast it was. It was a podcast. I just saw the clip of the link and Corey was on it. So like I said, Corey, you want to talk, man? My number's the same. You got it. My email's the same. You got it. Because I remember when Corey got to LA, I used to invite him and we used to hoop together a few times at the Burbank YMCA. Yeah, Corey could hoop too, man. He could dunk. He was like a little Charles Oakley, big thick ass brother. Couldn't get past them elbows. But yeah, so Corey, you know me. Hey, you know my wife, you know everybody in my family, man. So if you want to talk, we can talk. I still think it's funny. I feel like it was a rite of passage. I finally got a hoe ass shit from Corey Holcomb. So to me, it wasn't a big deal. So yeah. So that's put to bed. Man. So I'm going to Pittsburgh January 31st through February 2nd to the Improv. And then I'll find somewhere to watch the Super Bowl. Man, I don't think I've ever felt bad for a team like the Saints. God, they got hosed. Oh my God. I can't. I watched the game and the fact that one call where the DB, 3 penalties in one play. The DB from the Rams literally did a helmet-to-helmet hit, face guarded, and hit the guy before the ball got there. And there was no flag. And New Orleans gets that penalty. They can run out the clock. They either go in for the touchdown or they kick the field goal and the Rams don't get the ball back. But talk about unprofessional. My fault. God damn. Hold on. Let me take this real quick. Hey, I'm doing my podcast. In the middle of it. Yeah, you already know what time it is. Yeah, love you too. Yeah. It's my wife. She's about to catch a flight. So that was a commercial break, by the way, for pussywhip.com. I answered my phone in the middle of the podcast. Who does that? We don't edit this shit. We roll right through it because that's some pussy ass shit that I just did, according to Corey Holcomb. But God, I felt bad. But then, the one thing about that Saints-Rams game, being a diehard Bengals fan, and Andrew Whitworth, 2 years ago, offensive tackle for the Rams, leaves Cincinnati and goes to the Rams. And I'm thinking, why the hell did he do that? The Rams are terrible. That's what NFL, you never know. And now Whitworth's going to the Super Bowl. So I'm happy about that. And he's the sole main reason not the sole main, but one of the big reasons I'm rooting for the Rams. And the fact I hate Tom Brady just because he's good. No other reason. He's just really, really good. But I'm just sick of the Patriots being there. Jesus Christ. 9 Super Bowls, Tom. Let it go. Please, would you retire? Can you just leave? Thank you. He's like betting against Floyd Mayweather. It's not going to happen. He's not going to lose. But I'll be rooting for the Rams for Whitworth. I want him to get a Super Bowl ring. That'd be dope. I mean, it's not a Cincinnati Bengal getting it, but close. Because if he does end up going to the Hall of Fame, it'll probably go in as a Bengal. Guess where he spent most of his career. And then that game's over. But I got sidetracked. One of the coolest things I saw after the game was somebody took a picture of Drew Brees playing with his kids on the field after the game. And I went to a New Orleans game about 2 months ago, and a lot of the players and their kids, they'll go down the field after the game, and the kids will just run around the field and they'll play. I'd never seen that happen at an NFL stadium before. And so I guess after they lost to the Rams, Drew's kids, they're young. They just want to run around and play. And there's a picture of Drew Brees tying one of his son's shoes, and less than an hour after a heartbreaking loss where your legacy has changed because Drew's going to another Super Bowl. If that call's made, he's out there playing with his kids, and it just put everything into perspective and shows where his priorities are at. So how do you not root for Drew Brees after that? And another thing with that Rams Saints game, with the Rams going to the Super Bowl with a majority of the roster that they had 2 years ago when they sucked, that lets you know how bad of a head coach Jeff Fisher is. Jeff Fisher had that team in disarray, arguing with Eric Dickerson. He sucks. And he kept the coaching job for 15 years because he took the Titans to the Super Bowl 1 year. That 1 year he went to the Super Bowl kept him employed for 15, almost 20 years. And it speaks to how good was Steve McNair. The fact that Jeff Fisher never had a good quarterback, never had anybody even close to being an average quarterback after Steve McNair. And Steve McNair won in spite of Jeff Fisher. And now that you look back on it, how good could Steve McNair have been if he had a better coach? That's what's scary. That's what makes you wonder. So that sucks about the Saints, man. But I'm happy for Whitworth and Ndamukong Suh. I'm happy for him because his sister Gum, she always takes care of me. If I'm going to a game where Ndamukong's playing, she always makes sure I'm good with tickets and everything else. And it got announced that next year the Bengals are playing the Rams in London. So trust I'm going to be at that game. And hopefully Ndamukong re-signs with the Rams because knowing our front office, they're not going to do shit for me. So I'm going to go through Gum and Ndamukong Suh to get the tickets to that game. But I'm going to be there regardless. And then the other game, the late game, was the Patriots versus the Chiefs. And everybody saw that coming. Like, the end of the game, nobody could stop anybody. And I freaking hate the NFL overtime rules. The fact that you could win or lose a game because of a coin toss. The fact that you got this young gun, Patrick Mahomes, who could not be stopped in the second half. He scored 31 second half points against the Patriots. And you go to overtime. And he drove him down for the game time field goal with 30 seconds left. Drove him, 50 yards in 30 seconds? And just they make the heads or tails, and it comes up heads. Patriots get the ball. And you just knew Brady was going to drive him down the field. You knew it. He's so good. And then, boom. Then Patrick never got a chance to get the ball back. And you can't tell me you don't want to see him get the ball back. Make it, you can't kick a field goal. Make it, you got to score a touchdown, and the other team has to score a touchdown. But you got to give both teams a chance to get the ball in the playoffs. I don't know about the regular season. You can keep the overtime rules the same, but not in the playoffs, man. The people work too hard and bust their ass to come too far to have it come down to a coin toss. And the fact that one team gets the ball and the other team doesn't. I just think, I don't like it. I think everybody in the NFL be game with the fans would be game with it. And I would feel that way if the Patriots would have won and went down the field. I'd be in a different mind space. I'd be like, yeah, Mahomes is in a Super Bowl, but I'd still be like, wouldn't you like to see Brady get the ball back though? See what he was going to do? But I think people should just stop and realize the greatness that we're watching in Tom Brady. Joe Montana was a little kid when Joe Montana played, like really little. And I didn't think there's anybody better than Joe Montana. But I don't think there's a question. The greatest quarterback of all time is Tom Brady. It's not even a close second anymore. It's not even 9 Super Bowls. It's 9 fucking Super Bowls. Just let that resonate. 9 fucking Super Bowls. Not to mention, when he didn't go to the Super Bowl, probably lost an AFC title game. So the teams that played the Patriots best when you look back over the course of the history of Tom Brady's career, the Baltimore Ravens always played the Patriots tough. It always went down to Lee Evans dropping that ball, Billy Cundiff missing the kick. 2 times the Ravens went to New England and lost to the Patriots in the playoffs. It went down to the last play. The last play. Lee Evans was way worse because Lee Evans dropped a touchdown that would have won the game. Billy Cundiff missed a kick that would have tied it. So Lee Evans and Billy Cundiff ran out of town. And then they got the Tucker kid who's unbelievable. But Lee Evans will go down. That was way worse. But it's funny how we condemn kickers so much, but other guys make plays that are just as bad, but they don't condemn the wide receiver as much. So I think the Ravens always played them tough. And Peyton Manning, he always played Brady, but he got blown out a couple of times in the playoffs by Brady. He never blew Brady out. But, of course, if Manning was on the Broncos or the Colts, that was always a good game, too. Other than that, nobody was messing with the Patriots in the playoffs, ever. I think the Jets beat them once. When Rex Ryan was with the Jets, that was when the Jets played the Patriots the toughest. So, I guess, of course I'm going to watch it. I'll be rooting for the Rams. But I wanted to see the Chiefs go. I really did. I wanted to see the torch get passed. And I want to see Patrick Mahomes in the Super Bowl because he's just freaking so fun to watch. God, that guy's fun to watch. And then the other sporting event over the weekend was the Adrien Broner Manny Pacquiao fight. Now, before that fight, there was a fight, light heavyweight, Badu Jack. And god dang, I feel like an asshole because let me look it up. The guy that beat Badu Jack. If you don't get a chance to see that fight, hold on, I'm gonna look it up real quick. Badu Jack fought this other cat, and I've never seen a cut that deep on somebody's head. They bumped heads, and this guy, Badu Jack, holy shit. It was so deep. Brown. Yeah, the guy's name was Brown. Dude, this cut was so deep. Like you saw, Bernie Mac used to say to the white meat, that was to the bone. Marcus Brown. And my apologies, because I know Marcus Brown talks shit, so I don't want to listen to podcasts. I'm like, damn, motherfucker, you ain't know my name? Marcus Brown. He wins the interim light heavyweight title, beating Badu Jack. If you get a chance, Google Badu Jack. Look it up on Instagram or just Google. That was the deepest. It looked like his forehead split in 2. It was right down the middle, and he kept fighting. I'm out. Call me a pussy. I don't care. I hate it when the refs ask guys that. This dude's got a gash literally 3 inches deep and it looked about 8 inches long on his, and it was getting bigger. It just was splitting in his forehead. And the ref's like, you want to continue? Fuck no, I don't want to continue. Why would you want to continue? No, I want you to stop it, ref. And let's go to scorecards. But no, I don't want to continue. The refs, I hate that because if you're a boxer and you're hurt, knowing you're hurt, seeing what boxers go through after they retire, you don't ask them, ref, do you want to continue? You just, you make that decision and deal with it later. But goddamn, I hate that shit. Yeah, of course. Of course they're going to say, yeah, you're testing the man's manhood right there. Because every now and then, a guy will say no, and he gets vilified for it. I remember Victor Ortiz said no one time. Of course, Roberto Duran, no mas. Every now and then, a fighter will say no more, and I'm good. And we act like they're the biggest pussy on the planet, and they don't want it, when really, they're taking into account their health. And once you get in that ring, and you start throwing punches, you should have everyone's respect at that point. Unless you just quit and you never got hit. But if you're in it and some reason you know you're off that day, your body ain't right, or you just feel like you're getting worked over and there's nothing you could do about it, and you're just like, dude, I can't do it anymore. I don't have it tonight. You know, as long as you didn't just go in there and throw in the towel and didn't put up a fight, but you were fighting, and then you get hurt. Don't leave it up to the boxer to do that, man. I hate that shit. I hate it. But after the Badu Jack fight and the most disgusting cut I think I've ever seen, then Adrien Broner is fighting Manny Pacquiao. And I didn't know who I was rooting for because I've always been a Pacquiao fan. But Broner's a hometown guy in Cincinnati. And I did a sketch with him on YouTube a couple years ago. And Broner was talking major shit about Pacquiao, about his trainer, how this is going to change my life. I'm about to be that dude, and proceeded to throw 50 punches. That was it. I was literally yelling at the screen, fucking fight, man. And I was just, it was so funny after the fight, Broner's interview. He goes, Jim Gray goes, I beat that boy's ass. Everybody knows I won. And everybody looked around like, what fight is he talking about? You know? And then Jim Gray's hysterical. Man, Jim Gray's a national treasure when it comes to boxing. He's the one that used to go at Floyd. He used to go at Tyson. He used to go at everybody. And it's so funny because Floyd's retired. Mike's retired. Now they look back on, they're all laughing because Jim Gray makes for some of the best sound bites when it's all said and done because he just calls guys on everything. Larry Merchant was good at it too. Larry Merchant was good. Larry used to go at Floyd all the time too. But I love it when they get those announcers in there. And God, it takes some balls to talk shit to a fighter when he's on 10 that just got out of a fight. But man, when Jim Gray goes, and you know, Broner comes in, I beat that boy's ass. Everybody know I beat his ass. You know, well, you only landed 8 punches around. You don't know, you only threw 8 punches around. Sounds like you against me too. See, I don't even want to talk to you. Everybody knows it was for Floyd and Pacquiao to fight again and get all that money. And I was just like, listen, Adrien knew he didn't win that fight. He didn't win that fight. He was doing that to sell tickets for the next fight. But he knows in his heart, his corner knows, his homeboys knows, his friends know, he didn't win that fight. And I would never say this to his face. Ever. Like literally if he was like, Gary, I heard you on the podcast, my fault. Nah, I was just fucking around. Never said that to his face. But he knows he didn't win that fight. He knows he didn't win the fight. And he's saying that to sell the next fight. And the thing about it is, I'm going to watch it. Adrian's not, as much as people talk shit about Adrien, and he didn't throw a lot of punches against Pacquiao, he talks so much shit, people are watching his fights to see him get knocked out. It's actually brilliant, if you think about it. He's become such the bad guy. He's never been knocked out. Got knocked down twice in the same fight, but other than that, never really been knocked down. Never really been in real trouble. Pacquiao stunned him in the 9th round, but it wasn't like, whoa, the ref should have stopped it. He just got stunned. But if he fights again, I'm going to watch it. You know, and a lot of other people are going to watch it because Adrian's going to talk a lot of shit. I don't know what's going to happen when he gets in the ring, but a lot of people are going to watch to see him get knocked out. He's taking the villain role. That's one thing he did take from Floyd, is he took that villain role and realized, oh, people like to see the villain lose, and they'll pay to watch somebody hopefully get their ass kicked. The difference between Floyd and Adrien is, I'm talking about outside the ring. Floyd likes to party, but Floyd don't drink. Floyd will stay out till 5 in the morning, but he's drinking water and juice. When in between fights, Adrian's getting it in. Adrian's drinking a lot of liquor. He's popping a lot of bottles. And I remember what Jason Kidd said when he played for the Dallas Mavericks. Jason Kidd's 40 years old. He wins a ring with the Mavericks. And somebody interviewed him. They said, dude, how are you playing at such a high level at your age? He goes, it's not the games that make you old. It's what you do in between the games that make you old. The 82 games, that's not what makes you old. It's what you're doing in between those games. And now that Adrian's 30, or he's almost 30, he's about to be 30, that's when your metabolism starts changing and you start slowing down. And especially if you've been drinking and partying a lot. You can kind of do whatever you want in your 20s. Once you hit your 30s, you better stop that shit out. I don't even know if I said that right. Stop that shit out. That made no sense. Cut that shit out. I just sounded like I got hit by Pacquiao a lot. I really did. Better stop that shit out. Cut that shit out. But that's why, I mean, that is smart on Adrien's part. You watch him to get beat up. And right now, we're in a resurgence in that 147, 140 weight class with Errol Spence and Keith Thurman and Sean Porter and Bud Crawford. I mean, there is some fucking good-ass fighters in Adrien Broner's weight class. So if he does, let me tell you something. If he does a couple more fights, Adrien, he's going to have to take some lower level fights. He'll get another big payday if he wins a couple of these low-end fights. Because I'm looking at it right now. 147, WBO is Terrence Crawford. IBF is Errol Spence Jr. WBA is Keith Thurman. But, you know, Keith fights this weekend. And then Sean Porter is WBC. So Terrence, Errol, and Keith are all undefeated. And they're annihilating people. And Sean lost to Keith Thurman, but he had a good fight against Adrien Broner. Adrien actually knocked him down in the 12th round. But Sean dominated because, again, Adrien didn't throw enough punches against Sean. So, you know, there's no sad story here, by the way. Adrien made $2.5 million. Pacquiao made $10 million. It's a happy ending on both sides, by the way. So before everybody feels like, oh, he's washed up, he's out. Believe me, everybody's happy today. Trust. So I like watching Adrien fight. I just wish he'd throw more punches. But and then let me tell you something. That post-fight interview, Adrien talks a lot of shit, but I don't know what he was talking about. He said, nah, I won that fight. It's kind of like when you order a cheeseburger. You want cheese on the burger, right? So you know you want cheese on. So the burger got cheese, you got a cheeseburger. You right? Exactly. I won the fight. What? What the fuck are you talking about right now? So if you get cheese on the burger, right? So you put the meat and then the cheese on top of the meat, right? So you know the cheese on top of the meat? Right. I won the fight. What? I was so lost. And that's when you know he didn't believe he won the fight. Because he was just up there to talk shit. And he went blank because when they start throwing out statistics like that, it's hard to argue. And they're like, you only threw 50 punches. You averaged 8 punches a round. I don't know if he landed 50 or threw 50. I don't know what it was. But it was an extremely low number. And they was like, so he was just like, yeah, but when you order cheese on the burger, you get cheese. Yeah, right? So if the burger's in the burger's a patty made of beef and the cheese got dairy. So if you put dairy on the beef, what you got? Cheeseburger. Won a fight. What? I was so lost. I literally looked. At this point, I was watching it on my phone. I was watching the post press conference on my phone. And I literally thought I set my phone to a different language. I was like, why is my phone talking jive? What? I thought it was some Cincinnati West Side 2-5 stand-up slang I didn't know about. I go, I'm from Cincinnati. I don't know who says that. But the worst is Adrien said, I did this for the hood. There were so many memes going, the hood's good. We're fine. Somebody put one and threw me in the middle of it. They said, we must protect Gary Owen at all costs. He's the last hood hero from Cincinnati. I was like, man. And again, I would never say this to his face, ever. I would be in denial. I'd be like, Adrien, they edited this. You got to hear the whole interview. No, if Adrien comes to be like, hey, Gary, man, are you talking shit about me? Now, if I had a cheeseburger, right, Adrien? If I put the cheese on the burger and the burger had the cheese, would that mean I'm talking shit about you? Okay, then. I put the cheese on the burger. So, of course, yeah. So I know I didn't talk shit because I put the burger on the cheese and then the cheese on the burger. Okay, then. Right? Yeah, at the end of the day, you know what it is. Because, you know, Adrien talks a lot of smack, but he also samples a lot of the people's smack talk. Because when he started saying he was the can man, that was an old joke from Comic View. When he said anybody can get it, Mexican, Puerto Rican, everybody. I was like, that was an old joke from Comic View back in the mid-90s. So that was not your bit. By the way, when everybody's he's talking a lot of shit, I go, he's watching a lot of comedy. And like I said, I like Adrien's always been cool with me, but I'm also going to be honest with him behind his back. If that makes any sense. I'm going to be honest with him behind his back. He didn't win that fight. And I would never say that. If I saw him to his face, I'd go, it was close. It's pretty close. I don't even know why I did this podcast today. I'm burning so many bridges. I'm going to have Corey Holcomb call me, Adrien Broner call me. Fuck. I'm supposed to be the nice guy. I stay clear of this shit. Yeah. Okay, so Super Bowl, Adrien Broner. I found out Corey Holcomb was talking shit about me. But if anybody wants to message me and go off on me, you know, this is all I got to say. When you order a cheeseburger, baby, you put that cheese on the burger and then the burger on the cheese, right? All right. At the end of the day, that's what it is. All right, this is Gary Owen with the Get Some Podcast. If you want to listen to my podcast, just go to iTunes, search Gary Owen, hashtag Get Some.